ሰላም ጤና ይስጥልን ውድ የቻናላችን ተከታታዮች እንዴት ናችሁ? ዛሬ ግሎባል ትሬንድ ቻፕተር 2 እናያለን። ዛሬ በዚህ ፓርት 1 ምናይ ይሆናል። ከዛ በፊት ለቻናላችን አዲስ ከሆናችሁ ቻናላችንን ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ የኢትዮ ኤክሰለንስ ቤተሰብ ይሁኑ። ቀጥታ አሁን ወደ ትምህርታችን እናልፋለን። ግሎባል ትሬንድ ዛሬ የምናየው ቻፕተር 2 ነው። ቻፕተር 2 አንደርስታንዲንግ ፎሬን ፖሊሲ ኤንድ ዲፕሎማሲ የሚለውን እናያለን። ስለ ውጭ ግንኙነት ፖሊሲዎች እና ዲፕሎማሲ የምንለው ምንድነው የሚለውን ነው ቻፕተሩ በዋናነት የሚያጠነጥነው። ስለዚህ እነዚህን እናያለን። ፎሬን ፖሊሲ ከዛ እንጀምራለን። what is foreign policy የምንለው ምንድነው? it is the actions, decisions and goals that the states pursue towards the outside world ሚለው ነው። ፎሬን ፖሊሲ የምንለው አንድ ስቴት ሊያሳካቸው የሚገቡትን ግቦች የያዘ ሌሎች አውትሳይድ ወርልድስ ጋር የምንላቸው ሌሎች ሀገራትም ሊሆኑ ይችላሉ ወይንም ደግሞ መንግስታዊ ያልሆኑ ድርጅቶች ኤንጂኦዎች ሊሆን ይችላል። ከነሱ ጋር የሚያደርጋቸው አክሽኖች፣ ዲሲሽኖች፣ ግቦች የሀገሪቷ ግቦች ልታሳካ የሚገቡትን ግቦች የያዘ ነው። The driving motives behind foreign policy is the pursuit of national interest. States adopt foreign policy to achieve and promote their national interest. ስለዚህ ፎሬን ፖሊሲ ሲካሄድ ዋና ሚና የሚጫወተው ብሔራዊ ጥቅም ነው፣ የሀገሪቷ ናሽናል ኢንተረስት ነው። ፎሬን ፖሊሲ is shaped by both external or systemic factors and internal factors. በሁለቱ ነው ፎሬን ፖሊሲ ሁለቱንም የያዘ ነው። ኤክስተርናል or systemic factors የምንላቸው ኢንተርናሽናል ሪጂምስ፣ ኢንተርናሽናል ኦርጋናይዜሽንስ እነዚህን የያዘ ነው። ኤክስተርናሊ ያሉ ፋክተሮች and the prevalence of great power at international level is one of the external factor shapes foreign policy. so foreign policy እነዚህንም አካቶ የያዘ ነው። ኤክስተርናል ፋክተሮችንም ከግንዛቤ አስገብቶ and also internal factors those are economic, technological and military capabilities of the state. የዛች ሀገር የኢኮኖሚ ሁኔታ፣ የሀገሪቷ የቴክኖሎጂ ደረጃ እና ወታደራዊ ብቃት የዛ ስቴት ኢንተርናል ፋክተር ስር አለ። ኤክስተርናል ወይም ሲስተሚክ ፋክተር ምንለው በዓለም አቀፍ ደረጃ ያሉ ፋክተሮች ቢኮዝ ይሄ ፎሬን ፖሊሲ ከውጪ ግንኙነት ከውጪ ሀገራት ከአውትሳይድ ወርልድ ጋር የሚደረግ ሪሌሽንሺፕ ስለሆነ እነዚህ ሁለቱም ፋክተሮች አሉ። ቀጥታ አሁን ዲፊኒሽን ኦፍ ዲፋይኒንግ ናሽናል ኢንተረስት የሚለውን እናያለን። the reason dictate or the reason of state ምንለው ነው to justify its actions and policy towards other states at international level. ስለዚህ ናሽናል ኢንተረስት ምንለው አንድ ሀገር የውጭ ግንኙነት ስታረግ ያለው purpose, what is the goal of that country? ሀገሪቷ ያንን foreign policy foreign relation ማድረግ የፈለገችበት purpose የሀገሪቷ ናሽናል ኢንተረስት ይባላል። a set of values, orientations, goals and objectives a given country would like to achieve in its international relations. ስለዚህ አንዲት ሀገር ልታሳካቸው የሚገቡ ግቦች፣ orientations, objectives and values አቺቭ ልታረግ የሚገባቸውን የያዘ ነው ናሽናል ኢንተረስት ምንለው። at international level at international relation እነዚህን ልታሳካቸው ያስቀመጠችው set of values, orientations, goals and objectives those are national interest ይባላል። and national interest የሚለው ወጥ የሆነ አንድ ኤግዛክት ሚኒንግ የለውም በጣም ኮንትሮቨርሻል ነው ስለዚህ የተለያዩ በተለያየ ምሁራን ዲፋይን ተደርጓል ለምሳሌ ሆሊስት ምን ብሎ ዲፋይን አረገ national interest is an image of the future state of affairs and future set of conditions that government through individual policy makers aspire to bring about by wielding influence abroad and by changing or sustaining the behavior of other state ሆሊስት ዲፋይን ያደረገበት መንገድ አንዲት ሀገር በፊውቸር ልታሳካቸው የሚገቡትን ፖይንት የያዘ through individual policy makers እነዚህን በተለይ ሌሎች ስቴቶችን ኢንፍሉዌንስ በማድረግ ምታሳካቸውን ፊውቸር ሴት ኦፍ ኮንዲሽን ነው ይለዋል ናሽናል ኢንተረስትን and also power or the ability to influence the behavior of other states is underscored as primary instrument to implement national interest ስለዚህ በዚህ መልኩ ነው ሲበሪ በሁለት መንገድ ነው ዲፋይን ያደረገው in normative sense and descriptive sense in normative sense it's set of purposes which a nation should seek to realize in the conduct of its foreign relations ልታሳካ የሚገቡትን ወሳኝ ፐርፐዞችን የያዘ ነው በዲስክሪፕቲቭ way it's the purpose also those are purpose which nation or state through its leadership appears to pursue persistently over time through leadership ነው descriptive way የገለጸው whenever national interest can be defined objectively as science or whether it is in a subjective enterprise as art for example for Plato the good of the polis that is the public good could best be arrived at by philosopher king aided by a few highly learned detached and fair-minded advisors Plato's idea have been used as the inspiration of dictatorial form of government, meaning that they should emphasize substance and wisdom of policies rather than procedural issue such as public debate, consultation, participation, and criticism. One person with strength, wisdom, knowledge, and above all, power can make a good decision than participatory decision making. ፕላቶ የሚከራከርበት መንገድ is the good police ምንለው የፐብሊክ ጉድ የሚሳካው ጥቂት በሆኑ በተማሩ ወሳኝ ሚና ካላቸው ግለሰቦች ነው ይሄ ሊሳካ የሚለው ነው አብዛኛው ጊዜ ይሄ ደግሞ ዲክታቶሪያል ፎርም ኦፍ ገቨርንመንትን ኢንስፓየር ያደርጋል a foreign policy decision is not necessarily a clear cut and rational process policies are often generated through great internal political and bureaucratic debates for example criteria used in defining national interest በተለያየ way ተገልጿል for example operational philosophy is depending on time location or your orientation towards the world around you and in particular the action of your procedures you may choose one of the two major style of operation act in a bold and sweeping fashion or synoptic orientation ምንለው this upon taking office introduce major new practices policies and institutions and discontinue assuming there is enough information to develop a major policy with some confidence that its consequence can be predicted or controlled ይሄ የሚለው operational philosophy depend on በጊዜ በሎኬሽን እና በኦሪየንቴሽን አንድ የሆነ አክሽን ቀድሞ የተደረገው ከሁለቱ አንዱን ኦፕሬሽን ነው የምንመርጠው። አንደኛው ሲኖፕቲክ ኦሪየንቴሽን የምንለው በተለይ አክት የምናደርገው ኢን ቦልድ ኤንድ ስዊፒንግ ፋሽን የሚለው ሲሆን ሁለተኛው ደግሞ አክት ኢን ኮዥን ፕሩቪንግ ኤንድ ኤክስፐሪመንታል ፋሽን ወይንም ኢንክሪመንታል የምንለው። ዲስ ኢንክሪመንታል ፎሎዊንግ the trial and error approachን ይከተላል assuming complexity of political and economic problems and worrying about their consequence. Seeks to perfect existence of legislation, policies and institutions and practices. We may use this operational method that is incremental, and when we assume there is enough information to develop a major policy with some confidence that its consequence can be controlled, then we use synoptic orientation. The second one is ideological criteria. These ideological criteria identify their friends or enemies, countries using the litmus test of ideology. For example, during Cold War, there is ideology of communism and capitalism. Moral and legal criteria is the third one. These act morally. Moral behavior in international politics involves keeping your promise or treaties, living and letting others live, avoiding exploitation and uneven development between the developing and developed ones. So morally ምንለው morally or legally ስንል in moral way ነው የምንከተለው international politics, this through moral behavior, generally standing up for the principle to which you are morally committed and that are widely accepted in your culture. The fourth one is pragmatic criteria. This criteria orientation is low-key and matter of fact, not on emotions and professions. Looking at issues and events around you and the world with the sense of prudence and with sorts of rationality. Mainly ምናየውን አካባቢያችን ያለውን rationally ምናይ ከሆነ that is pragmatic criteria. Act on the basis of scientific analysis of cost and benefits or demerits to your country interest. Without considering a normative issues that involve judgment. This means normative issues, be it bad or good. So we use this when pragmatic criteria. The fifth one is professional advancement criteria. This mainly focus on the individual's profession, consideration of your professional survival and growth, in short your personal success. ለምሳሌ ያለው የግለሰቡ ፐርሰናል ሳክሰስን ይመለከታል። ፕሮፌሽናል አድቫንስመንት ክራይቴሪያ ሊደርስ ማይት ቹዝ ኮንፎርሚቲ ቱ አይዘር ቱ ፖፑላር ፕሬዠር ኦር ቱ ስትሮንግ ኢሊትስ whose support they consider indispensable for their political survival. This attitude has been referred to go along to get along effect. The sixth one is partisan criteria. Partisan ምንለው equate የሚያደርግ this equate the survival and success of your political party, ethnic or religious origins with survival and success of your country. Equate the interest of your organization with national interest ምንለው. The seventh one is foreign dependency criteria. Actually this applies to less developing countries, so dependent on their ex-colonial states, those countries, and as a result of this state of dependency the less developing countries face difficulties to defend and promote their national interests, so they use foreign dependency criteria. There are also views on determination of national interest. The first one is realistic view. This prioritizes pragmatic criteria when defending national interest and employing foreign policy. Defines national interest in terms of pursuits of power. Realistic view. Power is about establishing control or influencing the behavior of others, either diplomatically or use of coercion. So, international politics is a struggle among states, and thus the prime interest of the state is the survival and security among other things. National interest ensuring survival and security of the state than talking about justice and morality. This mainly focused on realistic view, and leaders must be aware of that scope of national interest, and their foreign policy should be proportionality to their capability or to their capacities. So prudence should be the virtue of leaders. Prudence is the ability to assess one's need and aspiration while carefully balancing them against the needs and aspiration of others. The second one is idealist view. This is a strong belief in the relevance of legal, ideological, and moral elements. They didn't see legal and moral factors apart from the so-called reality. Specific actions and objectives of foreign policy have been often derived from general moral and legal guidelines and principles. So when we see generalize these points, realists fail to recognize and prescribe solution for addressing global problem because of exclusive emphasis given to state and national interest. አሁን ሪያሊስቲኮች የሚሉት አንድን ሀገር የሚወጣው ስቴት ራሱ ትልቅ ፓርቲሲፔሽን አድርጎ ፓወር ደግሞ ትልቅ ሚና ወስዶ ነው ይላል። አይዲያሊስት ደግሞ ቢሊቭ የሚያደርጉት prevalence of common problem of human being አለ ብለው so the establishment of new institution with global orientation may play a vital role in addressing global problems ይላሉ። and so understanding foreign policy and foreign policy behaviors ሚለውን እኔ ወሳኝ ፓርት ላይ ደርሰናል። እስካሁን እያየን የነበረው ስለ ናሽናል ኢንተረስት ትርጉም ምን ማለት እንደሆነ ነው። አሁን ደግሞ ስለ ፎሬን ፖሊሲ በጥልቀት ምን መረዳት ያለብን ፖይንቶች ስለሆኑ እያንዳንዱን ዲቴል እናያለን።